rolling, baby.
Alright, you're rolling.
Oh man. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today on this virtual show and tell. I'm going to be talking about my creative process, showing you some things, showing you a little bit around the studio, or my house, really, the living room we're currently in. And so yeah, let's get right into it. I have been working on a lot of these pieces for an upcoming show at Kiln this Friday. It's kind of centered around, what we're experiencing today with COVID. Originally, it was going to be about that. That wasn't even a thing whenever I talked to David about, the show, and it really wasn't until kind of the last minute, maybe a few weeks ago, that I felt like I wanted to use that as a theme rather than what I had originally thought of. And because I wanted to do that because, I wanted to create something that was uplifting to individuals, that was, a soft buffer to the reality of today, but also, having underlying messages of, what individuals are experiencing and what myself have been experiencing through all of this. So, I approached this like I'd approach any other design or art piece by first thinking about, what the message is. Is it going to be something that is total self-expression? Is it meant to say something directly? What is the purpose of it? Why am I making this? And then I start thinking about, well, how am I going to make it? Am I going to be utilizing, geometric shapes, abstract, humanist forms? Is it going to be textural, pictorial? Is it going to be super colorful or super stark black and white? And I start kind of bracketing these things. And then from there, I start kind of sketching it out and just getting my head wrapped around, what that theme is, what that body of work is. So for this, I kind of fell onto, Matisse and Keith Haring and, mid-century modern and really utilizing and playing upon primary colors in, abstract human forms, kind of combined with more of, my familiar ground of geometric, overlaying. And what you kind of got going on here is just the last few days of working through ideas in this kind of more gritty area of the process. Again, you're seeing kind of these colors. This is a perfect example of this heat transfer technique that I've been using, where I'm printing something out with a laser printer, has plastic inks in it. Using a laminator, it heats those inks, and when you've got two pieces of paper like that run through heat, the ink side leaves a kiss imprint on the the other piece of paper, and then there's a whole slew of other little tips and techniques you can run into that with getting different wrinkled forms, or using something like this foil to leave an impression where you want it to be. And that takes a couple different layers and a couple different print, laminate, back and forth. It's definitely a process, and it's still something that I'm discovering new ways of creating with. So yeah, you just see where things can kind of get messy. Rolling, hey? All right. So moving on into more of what the actual studio is. It's a big old desk. May not be too big for this room, but it was what I've got and what I've built in a previous home. So, computer type stuff, working out the ideas here. Because of the design background, I'm able to really flush out ideas really quickly and make kind of mock-ups in that way. And then, looking at what I see on the computer, I can visualize what it's going to be when I actually run it through that process in the living room of the heat transfer, the foiling, or the drawing, or whatever it is. It's just a super fast way to do it. So, again, kind of where everything happens. You know, I've got other people's stuff up here that I see for inspiration. You know, random stuff on the desk. It's definitely probably one of the cleaner times. Usually it's just covered with an idea, and I don't typically clean up until that idea is done. So, you know, you're seeing, again, like some half-baked processes of what I've been working on, and then more of the finished stuff. A lot of times I use this part of the studio to post up ideas, look at it, see where I can improve, or if it's finished. You know, in this specific instance, I want to know if what I've been making all fits together. You know, when it's in my head and I'm running through ideas and I'm producing things, it's easy to lose track and to go off on tangents, and then to, you know, bring the reins back in and realize that it doesn't really all make sense when it's together. So kind of putting everything like this on a wall as it would stand in the actual showing gives me that overview of, okay, what can be subtracted away, or do I need to add something else? Do I feel like there needs to be more color? Do I feel like there needs to be, you know, another piece that relates to that other piece that helps make it all make sense again? So you can kind of see what I've got going on right now. Again, like talking about these primary colors, using forms that is very human, but also, again, you know, abstract. This piece right here is something, you know, that's a combination of the geometric, the human, the foiling, the home, the love, the embrace of kind of being in your own space, and, you know, also the breadth of wanting to expand back to, you know, life, normal life. So, you know, all kinds of stuff in here I get into, random, you know, swatches of paper down at the bottom there. It's just good to have, you know, the ability to see what a marker is going to look like on a colored piece of paper, or you know, be able to test print or something like that. But that's pretty much all I have for showing the studio. It's not a very big space, so it's pretty easy to understand where things are at, and kind of run through of how I make stuff. So yeah, I just want to say, you know, thank you to everyone at the Grand Junction downtown office, you know, providing this opportunity for local artists to share their space, share their process, you know, get it out to the community, you know, again, during this time of isolation. Special thanks to the folks at Kiln, and, you know, just so happened that the timing was right, and I actually did have a show coming up that, you know, I was able to talk about with this video. And so yeah, I mean, it's going to be up. Hope you can see it either virtually. I'm going to be doing some streaming on Instagram. That's at WhatUpTJ, and you know, it'll be in the space until June. It's first Friday, so we have a whole month. Fingers crossed that in that month we are able to get back to a little bit of normalcy in life, and able to, you know, get out and about and see the folks that, you know, I know we're all missing. So I hope everyone's healthy and happy, and I will see you soon, hopefully.